with people of all faiths, but if you see his interaction with the Christian community, you recognize someone who has called the nation into prayer. People of all faiths, when we've had national tragedies like man-made ones like mass shootings and then natural disasters like the hurricanes and the wildfires, he's called the nation into prayer. He has been walking with people of faith throughout his candidacy and into his presidency. Yesterday, that was brought into sharp relief because if you watched the ceremony in the Rose Garden, even before he got there, it was so reflective of the way he's governing all people in this country faithfully. In that, we had a Christian gospel group beautifully done yesterday. They sang several different hymns, several different songs, and then flanking the stage were 6 leaders of different faiths. A rabbi, Cardinal Burrell was there. We had a woman from LDS, from the Mormon faith. There was a Muslim, a military chaplain there. There was Sissy Graham who was there as well, which was wonderful. And so you see there were 6 members of the faith community, 6 leaders, all delivering a prayer. And then here comes the president to welcome everyone into the Rose Garden, which is the pinnacle of respect from the president in terms of, if the weather cooperates, in terms of having an event. He really loves opening up the People's House and the Rose Garden to the entire country. At the National Day of Prayer today, the president talked about the power of prayer, as did Vice President Pence, quoting from Jeremiah. But the president also signed an executive order while he was there, establishing a White House faith initiative and noting that we would have a faith office as well, somebody who's designated with the faith-based office. Why? Because the president made clear that religious liberty is under attack. He's there to protect it and defend it and advance it, but it's under attack. And let me remind everybody, in this country, our Constitution, the Founding Fathers, intended to protect religion from the state, not the other way around. And in that executive order, if you read the words, the president is also looking for solutions with respect to poverty. And I know, because I worked on this on behalf of the president and the administration, we're looking for faith-based solutions in our fight against the opioid crisis and drug demand, drug supply crisis that is at a fever pitch this country has never seen before. 174 Americans die each day from a drug overdose. It's a leading cause of death over breast cancer now, and certainly plane crashes and gun violence and things that get a lot of coverage. So this is something that we're all working on together. But the president very much believes in faith-based solutions and organizations and individuals who wish to help. The president also wants to make sure that across the executive branch, we have designating individuals in offices that are watching religious liberty and making sure that it is advanced and not assaulted. And so he wanted to make that very clear in the National Day of Prayer. This is also a president who's been very committed to his pro-life agenda. And I think on October 19, 2016, we should all remember, I've never heard such an impassioned defense of life from a presidential debate podium than that night when Mr. Trump turned around the label of extremism. And he's made very good on that between Mexico City policy and the trying to restore the funding to qualified women's health centers, but also in being the first president and in Mr. Pence's role, the first vice president to ever address the March for Life live, and again from the Rose Garden. So making good on those commitments as well and showing how much we believe in the sanctity of life, whether it's unborn life here or in the state of Israel.
He was also the first president to pray at the Western Wall, which was very nice to see. I think for the folks in this room, Kellyanne, I think the fact that President Trump is so accessible, and as people of faith, we feel like, and the pros